We do sales, marketing, strategy consulting. We do skills training, and we do hiring, coaching, and consulting and implementation as well. Basically, through the corporate job I had, the different businesses I've started, and the agency I had, I was really able to lock in and figure out, how does marketing a small business look like? How does developing a sales strategy for small businesses look like? How do small businesses start to scale from six figures to seven figures and then multiple seven figures? The thing with small businesses in particular is that they have limited budgets and they have limited time frames and they have limited time spans. And, it's a challenge to be able to navigate that with those hurdles and be able to do something consistently, implement a strategy consistently enough to actually see results compound and start to grow. But you can do it. And we were able to figure that out. And I was able to carve out that niche. And, I just figured, hey, now what I can do is I can help small businesses, instead of just providing the service and charging them a premium for it. I can help them build their own teams and do all of that work in-house, which will honestly lower costs, especially long-term, than hiring an agency or hiring outside help, and, increase their profitability, increase their ability to move quicker and their long-term results, and just be able to grow their businesses. And they don't have to be a digital nomad. They don't have to travel the world. They don't have to leave their home country. But I am very passionate about, and I'm very focused on helping my friends, my colleagues, and my clients live a life of purpose and passion, and whatever is important to them, whether they want to spend more time with their family, give back to their community, whatever it is, that comes through freedom. And that comes through, for many people, building a business where they not only are making money, but they actually have control over their time. And that's really the trick. And so that's what I'm focused on, and that's what I'm doing.
Excellent. Now, one of the things that, that our industry, in the localization industry, is primarily made up of a small to medium size companies, like any other industry in the service-based industries or knowledge-based industries, if you want to go that far in defining the industries. They're primarily made up of, you've got like the 800-pound gorillas at the top of the list, and you've got a few of those, and then you've got a long list of small to medium sized enterprises or companies that there are in between. Now, from your experience, from your expertise, did it matter to you, or were you seeing any better successes with industries versus other industries in terms of applying your strategy? So from if somebody owns a localization company, they happen to have I don't know, 5-10 employees. They're running it in Spain or any other non-English speaking countries. Does it matter? Can you help them? How?
That's a great question. So with the agency, we never specialized in an industry. And that might have been one of the reasons why the agency didn't grow bigger. However, size wasn't necessarily always a factor for me. I was after a business that would support a lifestyle as well. And there are challenges to not being specific on one industry if that's not the dedicated choice. So every industry, every business, even if it's the same type of business in different locations, I don't care what any marketing guru wants to tell you, that they have the secret ad formula or the perfect, amazing content that will blow up your business. Every business in different areas is different because you have a different audience. And what you're doing when you talk about marketing, when you talk about sales, is you're talking about people, right? And people are different. People have different interests. Their interests change. They have different cultures, different backgrounds. And so absolutely, it makes a difference, the type of industry you're in, the type of service you're providing, who your audience is. Specifically for me, my skill set has really been able to come into small businesses and not look at it so much from a point of view of, okay, what industry are you in and what's the industry problem? But no, who is your audience? Who are you serving and what is their specific problem? And I think that's where a lot of small business owners can get led astray by the marketing industry is, people want to focus on, oh, this is the industry problem, and that's important, but it's like, what is your customer problem? Like who is the actual person on the other end of the desk or the phone or the computer that you're actually serving? What is their specific problem? And That's really what I found matters. If you can focus on who that person is that you're talking to, that's going to skyrocket your success.
I'm glad you're enjoying the video. If you need help with hiring, training, or managing your VAs, make sure you click the link in the description below to check out our free VA hiring workshop. If you need one-on-one help with me, click the link to schedule an appointment to see how I can help.
We've talked on this channel so many times before is what is the problem and what is the solution that you're providing to that problem as a service provider. From a, we're starting a brand new year. Everybody's excited. First few days of January. However, I mean, like in sales and marketing, the clock starts to tick in January 1st if your financial year is starting in January. And so, I've seen some of your videos on YouTube, how to make easy sale. I love that video. So we're starting brand new year. So any advice from your perspective, for somebody who is, struggling or looking to add new customers? What are the things that you can do initially in the year, some tangible advice that they can propel themselves at the beginning of the year?
Well, that's a loaded question because there's so many avenues you could go down. I would say from a sales perspective, double down on what's working. So double down on the type of customers that you enjoy working with the most and that are paying you the most money. Go after those customers. From a marketing perspective, what I'm seeing, even for service, even for local service businesses, if they're very localized and have a geographic area that they're serving, is you have to build an audience. The old school methods of sending out cold emails and cold calling and stuff like that, they can work, but they are much less effective and they are much more just taxing as a small business owner. And so really, I think the way going forward with the social media platforms we have, the way technology is moving, is you should be creating content, putting that online. That content should reflect not just your products and services, not just the problem and solution, but it should reflect your businesses or even your specific belief systems, your convictions, the things that you're passionate about. And what you will end up doing is you will attract an audience base that thinks like you and they have the same values that you do. And then once you have that audience built, this is how influencers or people that have built audiences, this is how this actually works. They are putting out their thoughts, their beliefs, their values. They're collecting an audience of people that think like them. And then what they do is they think about a problem that they had, right? And they thought about how they solved it. And then what they do is they offer that solution to their audience base, because if someone thinks like you, they probably have similar problems that you do, and they probably need a similar solution. And so if you're already in a business, you already have a product or service, you probably, for most small business owners, you probably are offering that because that was a problem for you and you found a solution and you're like, hey, this is amazing. I want to offer it to other people. And so what I would say from a big marketing standpoint, where most small business owners it doesn't seem to click as far as marketing goes, is this idea of building an audience that is an audience of them, right? When you focus on you as the audience person, right, you're going to understand who the audience is. You're going to understand their problems. You're going to understand the solutions they're looking for. You're going to understand how they think. And this is going to simplify the marketing, and it's going to make the marketing way more effective, and you're going to see a lot more results. It still takes a lot of time. There's no quick to marketing. It takes a lot of time.
Correct. But you bring a very good point, though, around creating the audience, that there's no quick fix, because, most of the thinking is in any business, why did you create the business? It's because you thought it was a good idea. And the great idea that that you came up with and you put a business behind it, specifically on the localization side of things, or not necessarily localization, it could be anything else. That this business is a great idea, that to have it in place because you're servicing a customers, you're fixing a problem, etc. And then you start pondering, well, how come customers are not coming to me? How come people are not lining up to buy my services? Well, then, this is where we need to, as you said, we need to get out of our shells a little bit. Maybe the advice that you're giving, if I can summarize it, is your strategy for 2024 for anybody is to take a content strategy, put your content out there, put yourself out there, broadcast yourself in whatever means you want to do this. Not necessarily everybody now is going to create a podcast channel, but whatever it is, vlogging, emailing, build a tribe around your ideas and let those individuals become your ambassadors, if you will, to the
Right.
rest of the world. Am I summarizing it correctly?
Yeah, no, that's 100% correct. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to, we're in such a competitive world these days. It's not that people's attention is so flaky. It's just that there's so many things that are interesting to watch that they're
There's
just not
competing
going to spend.
interests, Scott, right? There's
Yeah.
competing
Yeah.
interests.
Yeah. They're just not going to spend time on things that aren't interesting to them. So, the best way, because small business owners, most of them were not educated on marketing, on sales, on anything. And I lump myself into that. I wasn't educated on any of this. I had to figure it out. And, the easiest way to do this is to put yourself as the audience and attract an audience of you. And when you do that, you're going to nail the marketing message every time, and you're just going to have so much more success. So absolutely.
And I think you agree with me by saying, there ought to be a focused strategy on this. It cannot be one of those, I throw mud on the wall and see what sticks. It's got to be more like, I know my product, I know my services because I'm very in tune with it. I created it, kind of a business owner. And I know my customer and I know my audience. So what messaging I need to create that will fit that environment versus let me put a whole bunch of things out there and see what, attract.
I mean, yeah, this is I call it the entrepreneur's curse, right? There's so many options. There's so many shiny objects that we could reach out for. It becomes hard to commit to a specific thing or a specific strategy and in long term. And this is really what I've seen causes small business owners to stay small and not grow and not reach their goals. I've been victim to this. My clients have been victim to this. Success and growth, specifically for business, is in the mundane and the boring. It's in the consistency. And, that is never more evident than in your marketing. You have to have a specific strategy. You do have to know when to adjust and when to, change it up a little bit. But erring on the side of caution, small business owners need to be committing to a strategy that they can do consistently far more than they need to think about implementing a shiny new object or a shiny new strategy that's supposed to skyrocket them to success. Hey guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you got some value out of that, make sure you go ahead and let me know by leaving a like. I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, and comments down in the comments section. And of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos. We release 3 videos a week, one on sales, one on marketing, and one on VAs. And of course, if you want to check out some of our services or products, check out the links in the description, as well as you can find information on one-on-one coaching and consulting with me, where we can dive into the specific strategies and solutions that you need in order to take your business from 6 figures to 7 figures or low 7 figures to more 7 figures.